Good morning. It's the with a difference. It's always, Tuesdays we'll always say it's Tuesday with a difference because it comes with its own different smile, different environments. When you've done Monday hitting the traffic and then Tuesday you're a bit relaxed and everything. So we are glad today is Tuesday. Yes, today is the 14th day in the month of May. I told you once we cross 15th, forget it, May is gone. My name still remains Joy Abu. Welcome to Family and Values. We are streaming across all our social media platforms. Download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. Today promises to be another very educative topic you don't want to miss. Tell a friend to tell another friend that it's time for family and values. Yes, we are always bringing the values to you. Family is the bedrock of every nation. Everybody grew up from a family. So the earlier we get the values right, the better for everybody in the society. That person you're complaining about grew up from a family. So let's get those values right and try to do our little best. I'm not in the studio alone. I have Mama Gen Z seated, pretty, but hey, that's just by the way. Let's introduce Olori. Good morning.
A beautiful morning to you, and a beautiful morning to our viewers. Always remember that your focus determines your reality. What are you focusing on this morning? What are you determining to get? What are your expectations? You need to be focused for that reality to come to be. So it's not just for you to think it, you need to act it, you need to walk in it, and you will get the reality by the results that comes your way. My name is Olori Adejoke Adunbi David. I hope you had a splendid night rest, just like Joy was just telling us now. The way you see her this morning, in short, don't let me say anything. I'll keep it. Your Bible will say, you understand what that means? As an elder, you don't spill out everything inside of you. So let me keep it. I'm sure she will unveil it before the end of the program. So you're welcome to join us on all our social media platforms. And also, please remember that number on your screen is there for you to reach out to us. Let's get the feedback. Let's hear from you. Join us with your advert sponsorship. And we would love to do business with you on Family and Values, because family, there's no business you bring into the family that does not go far. It will go far, farther than you can imagine. So Joy, today is all about
yes, so today is another beautiful one. But before then, let's give a shout out to Deaconess Bola Obanle. Today is her 30th wedding anniversary.
Ah, okay, I thought it's a birthday.
Yeah, no, today is their 30th wedding anniversary. Yes.
Almost 30, yeah.
Yes.
Happy wedding
so
anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you. She's one
guest
guest that when we call, she's always available. So happy.
I will pray the Lord continue to top it up with new
ones. In fact, 30 years is no beans in marriage. So from Family and Values, we're wishing you happy wedding anniversary. You would live to celebrate more years. You will eat the fruits of your labor.
Amen.
The Lord will crown your marriage with success, you know. You know, when you hear people celebrate 30 years, for me it's always like, how did they do it?
Shake it up.
How did they do it? 30!
Do you know, in the course of celebrating your marriage, even when you have issues with your partner, and maybe there was a separation, you still count it as part of the years you spent together. Because the scars, those days, those dark moments, those red points that you see here and there, still comes back with something glowing, and you still count it. It's still one part of it.
That's true. You still count that, make it a part
that
of
you're still alive together. It means something can still happen.
It means something can still happen. Yeah. That's just the
because
truth.
That's first love. When first love
I've seen marriages that have actually divorced and then come back again to start. You know, like they've divorced and spent years.
Don't forget those who have gotten to the age of 17 and 80 go finally to divorce. So what do you want to do to that?
Okay.
They spend 50, 60 years of their life together. And at the end of the day, they decide to go when they're supposed to actually be keeping themselves warm at old age. They decide to go.
But if you've spent 50 years in marriage, what's the need of leaving? Just stay there and complete it.
Some will tell you because I want my peace of mind. I don't want to go to the grave earlier than.
And you don't call that divorce. You just both of you live separate places. And
in the one we are, they call it divorce. Let's go.
but that's by the way. So that's just it. And also, happy birthday to my friend, sister Ijoma. Happy birthday to you. Many more years. The Lord will continue to keep you and preserve you. You celebrate more years.
Amen. Yeah. And also to Ade too. Happy birthday and happy marriage life. She just got married. From Praise to Mistrel, and also to Yetunde Adeola Ude. We call her Lolo Ude. Happy birthday to you, long life and prosperity. We love you.
We love you. All of us from Family and Valleys are wishing you happy birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, without wasting so much time, today's topic is one that we need a lot of time to do justice to it, because it's something, though we can't finish it in one episode, we would always bring it up from time to time. But it's important we bring it to our notice, to our knowledge, because a lot of you, by the time we start you start asking yourself questions. Before you point the one finger, the four that is pointing you, you start asking yourself inner questions. Let's go on a mini feature. When we return, our guest is already seated in the studio to have a conversation with. We'll see you on the other side. That is very, very educative, inquisitive in such that you want to know more. Because sometimes certain things happen around us and you really don't understand what is happening. As you grow up, you now start, oh, so this was why this person was behaving this way. Today we want to discuss narcissistic parents. We have them a lot. We grew up in their midst. But what is this all about? Now we've gone to social media, you hear everybody talking about narcissistic parent, narcissistic partner, this one is that. Now let us bring the conversation so that you, like I used to say, when you hear a word and you don't know the meaning, you misinterpret it. But when you have an idea of what you're dealing with, it gives you a broader knowledge and a broader understanding. And to help us digest this topic and take it in a different dimension, we have Evangelist Morolayo Oladipo. I hope I got that name very well. Yes, she's a marriage and relationship expert. She's also an author. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I'm one of the excited people here because you coming this morning, gracing our occasion. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much. I'm not taking it for granted. It's a privilege I really appreciate. And the topic is so interesting. I'm looking forward for us to talk about it. Okay. You know, I've heard about it several times. I've not taken my time to go into it properly. But I started like a month ago. I didn't know what's going to me.
Wow.
And so I'm finding it interesting. And you know, taking a proper tour of it, you find out that so many things, like rightly said, happening around you. When you start reading about it, you start saying, okay, this person is, oh, this is who this person is, this is who this person is, oh, that's why this person is like this. So you start finding them, start seeing them, and start noticing them, and start saying, oh, okay, so that guilty attitude that you have, that you're feeling guilty that, oh, the issue was me. It's not you at all.
It's not you.
It's not you at all.
Okay, before we go into the conversation, I have a way of always telling my guests I love you, so I'll definitely pick something from you. You thought I was going to miss that part. Sorry, I won't miss it. So I've looked at you and I'm going to be taking your neck chain from you. So after the show, just hand it over to me. I saw it. I have sharp eyes. I definitely see. Okay.
Pleasure to have you. To give it to you.
I want to ask this question, and in all sincerity, can parents be narcissistic in nature? As parents, can we say we parents, let me not exclude, because we are also parents, can we parents be narcissistic in nature?
Of course, the answer is a clear yes. We can be narcissistic in nature. And the thing there is that most people don't know, it's a disorder, it's a mental health disorder that we don't really know. Yes, I have disorder of we having to, you know, pay more attention to ourselves. It's everything about me, I, and myself. And most parents do it a lot, especially if they have that mental disorder. I'm just going to define it this way. There is a mental health issue where people take more time or cognizance of themselves. They want to be, you know, recognized. They want everybody to admire them, to applaud them. And so they do it in such a way that they put very unreasonable importance to themselves. you know, disregarding other people around them, ignoring their actions, ignoring their feelings. All they want is for you to applaud them. They want to claim superiority over everybody around them. They want to say, okay, I just need you to pay attention to me. And so we get it like that. You know, growing up in the environment where I grew up, I began to see why some mothers were this way in a community. You know, in the Yoruba they said, you know, and now, you know, after taking the study of this topic, I started seeing my growing up. I started seeing why some mothers are the way they are. You know, some mothers will dress up. They will so dress up that when you look at them, you're like, put it on. But when you look at their children, you'll be like,
What happened?
even when you go to their house, where they came out from, you'll be wondering, what happened? What's happening here? That's what it is. Just me, myself, and myself alone. They want to look good for themselves. They want everybody to admire them, to compliment them, to say, oh, you look good. That is their strength. Complimenting them, admiring them, and you know, talking good about them. But when you say anything negative, they can't face criticism. They can't just face it. It goes to, they start nagging. You know, okay, let me give you a practical example. There's this friend of mine. You know, I so much love her to the point that everybody around me, my siblings, everybody knows that I love this person so well. But I noticed it, but it was now I'm just beginning to relate it to it. When anybody is around me, apart from her, and I'm giving that person attention, she will not say anything, but you see her countenance change, everything about her change. And if it's taking too much, like in the next 10 minutes, she's not getting her attention, she will just say, excuse me, can I have a word with you? She will just take me to my kitchen and be saying to me that, you know, who's that person? Why is she here? Why is this? You know, she starts talking, I'm like, she's a friend. I just introduced her to you that she's a friend. And so how long is she going to be here? That's the kind of person they are. They lost, you know, they feel all the attention should be given to them. You know, even though the third thing is there, they still want you to focus on them. And whatever you are saying, that person should be secondary. They want to be superior. And it affects children, it affects their relationship, it affects every part of their life, every area, their work, their relationship, their finances. They affect their finances as well. And so on and on. Their relationship is not always strong. So reading about it made me to understand that so many people that have relationship issues is because of their narcissistic personality. Yes.
Okay. Now, are there ways we can actually identify this narcissistic parents? Talking about parents now.
Yes.
Are there ways we can identify them?
Yes. One of the ways that you can identify them is that they use their children for validation. What do I mean by that?
Thank you.
They don't want to spend effort training those children. They don't want to work hard concerning the children, but they want to take the applause. When the children are doing well, they want to say, oh, that's my baby, that's my daughter. They hand them over to their partners or to their grandparents. And so when the child is doing well and they say parent school day, they're not there for that child to do her school lessons. They pass them to their housemaid or to their partner or to their grandparents. All they focus on is themselves. So but when they say, okay, the child has done well, and maybe they to do prize giving day, that's when they would dress up and be there. That's my child. That's one of they use their children as validation. Another thing is what they use those children for, they use them as caregiver. Even as young as they are, they want those children to be taking care of them indirectly. Yes, they wake up in the morning, they dress themselves, they now pass the children. Instead of you to take care of that child, you'll be passing the nanny. Go and do this for that child. The husband will do that. They run to work in the morning, leaving their children at home. Some of them, that's the way you notice them. They will now be telling their partner, when you are going, just drop her. You know, you do this. That's what they are. And so when the children are not doing well, they blame them. They don't want to take responsibility. They blame the child. That's one of the traits as well. Another thing you notice about them is that never anything goes wrong. Like I said, they don't want to take responsibility. But they want to take the applause. The glory. They favor another way they proclaim favoritism among the children. Any children that pay more attention to them is their favorites. That's another trait. Any child that pay more attention to them, that say, ah, mommy, 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 that pay attention to them, that child will be their favorite one. And that's why you see in families, you see, especially, and this narcissistic behavior is, funny enough, during the study, you found out that they said it's more with men. To me, it's strange. Because you see, growing up, we see mothers, you have division in the house. They show favoritism to some people. Let me give you another practical example. You see people, even as old as they are. I've seen a graduate friend of mine. She just moved to Lagos and she's struggling to even settle down in her job. And her mother is calling her for money. She doesn't know where she's living. She doesn't know how she got the job. She doesn't know how she even finished from, the NYC. The thing that she has moved to Lagos, she's working. She's calling every day, I want money. One day she flared up on the phone and she started, yelling at the mother. And I'm like, all she wants is money. She doesn't even know how I got this far. She doesn't even know where I'm staying. She has not called me to say, now I heard you're in Lagos. Where are you staying? What job are you doing? Nothing like that. All this, I just say I should eat the fruit of my labor. That has been her attitude right from childhood. Just getting. And when she's not getting that, she get angry. Yes.
Okay, now while I was going through the study and looking at the topic, I saw a bit of similarity. Somebody will say, or there will be an argument that, no, it's the way African parents are training this thing. Now, I want to ask, from the point of view that have taken time to really study, can you relate? Is there a relationship between, a difference between African culture training of parents and in narcissistic parents? So now, is there a difference? We say, okay, yes, some people will say this is how Africans train their children, African mothers. Like you just mentioned some things, they say, it's common with African mothers. So will you relate that training to a narcissistic parent? And if, can you make us clearly differentiate that this is where the African training is, this is where you draw the line, but when you cross above this board, you're a narcissist. Whether you want to be African, as long as you have gone over this board, this is where.
Okay, there's for me, there's a difference in it. Because the African way of bringing up children as Africans is that we're trying to pour morals into African children. That's what we grew up to see from our parents. They want to give us the best education. Maybe my growing up, that's the practical example I can use. Because a typical Kitty person, I'm from Ikiti. Our growing up is that education, we want you to be the best person in the society. You might not use the education to get your day or way of living and all that, but they want you to be a role model. They want to point. I know my mother will say, anywhere you go, your character, they will refer you back to me. They will refer you back to your parents. There's a word they say, you understand? So that is the African way. They want to bring up their children in the best way to turn out they can. But at the end of it, some people that are narcissistic in nature, they go to the extreme, and you will know the difference. Even though they are bringing you up in all their behaviors, you see that they are still focusing on themselves, and they are expecting you to even take care of them. You see them coming up, if they have any issue with their partner or family members, they will be expecting you to support them,
on their side,
be on their side, even if they are wrong. They want you to be on their side. Let me give you a practical example of this. There's this student I met in the Bible school. She's a young girl. They are in the uni, so they come for a conference. So the guy opened up to me to say, okay, he's a Christian, and then he happened to come as the son of the second. But growing up, he found out that the father got married to the mother. The mother is not the first wife, and so he saw things in the right way. That okay, I want to be friends to my sisters, but the mother has this narcissistic behavior, trying to tell him you don't have any reason to support them, you don't have any reason to love them. And it got to a stage that the father died, and before the father died, the father told him, because he's the only son, the father told him so many things. And so for him as a son and as a Christian, wanted to relate everything that the father told him to the sibling, to the elder sisters from same father, but from a different mother. And he now shared it with the mom, and the mom went back. Of course he knew, but he said he can't just go ahead to do that without telling them. The sister, the mother, they were all against him, and they're preparing and planning for the father's funeral. And he knows they have resources that is, that is in his custody, that the father opened up to him. But he said he can't go ahead to do that as a Christian without letting the others to know, which are the senior sisters, even though they are. But for him, he felt we won. And they went on and on and on, and he started suffering rejection. That he had to come to me to find solace. Have I done wrong? I said, you've not done wrong. That's who they are. Do you understand? He said, growing up, that is the way they've been telling them that he should have to support the mother, he have to support the sister, and he felt that no, he shouldn't be. But at this stage, so you can see the upbringing. Sorry about that. He saw it coming, but he identified it, but he didn't know what it is. What it was. But for him, he's feeling he should do the right thing. That is narcissistic parenting, but he's trying to get out of it. So it's different from bringing up children training in African culture. Even though they brought him up, if not because they brought him up well, he wouldn't realize that what they are telling him to do is wrong.
Okay, this will bring me to our my next question, which is talking about self-worth. If you have a narcissistic parent, how do you reveal, how do you come out, just like what you just told us?
Yes.
I believe many are still not clear on what or how they need to do, whether they are Christian, they're Muslim, irrespective. You are just a personality on your own, and you have these children having narcissistic parents. How do they bring forth their self-worth? How do they bring forth that confidence that I can do this, whether you crave for more attention or not? Because in the process of creating more attention for themselves as the narcissistic parent, the child will be left to do certain things he or she will not want to do. So how do they come out with their self-worth, the confidence they need, what do they have to do?
What I will encourage the children to do is to have a supportive, how will I call it now, have people that you can talk to, no matter how old you are. Have friends that you can relate with. Okay, let me give you another example. I have this friend, he has 3 daughters, and they are not narcissistic parents, but they go on holidays. They are privileged to see their parents allowing them to go to friends' house for days and all that. And so being able to do that, they see the difference of what is happening in his friend's house, bringing it back to the parents' house. The mother is the kind of person that is very busy, always at work, so they tend to be close to their father. And so when they come home, they'll be talking to their father. They love the way their friends' parents are relating, and so they want them to be relating. They want their parents to be relating the same way. So coming back with such feedback help them to begin to relate well at home. And so when you see that your parents are narcissistic in nature, you have to look for a support system within your friends and try to buy the trust of your narcissistic parents to the level that you'll be able to go and spend time somewhere else, building confidence with those people, trying to grow up with them. Some parents don't allow their children to even step out.
I wanted to say that.
They don't allow their children to step out. But in that capacity, you want her or him, the applause they need is to say, oh mom, you look good. If that is what you need to sow for you to get your way out. So ability to recognize that this is who your parents are, this is their nature, and I don't want to, I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to lose my self-confidence. I want to be who I want to be. Let me just play along with them and be able to stand on my own. We have a lot of people that do that. They do that. They know who their parents are, but they will always try to play along with them so that they can have their own way. And children these days, we can't compare to when we were growing up. They have access to, social media, a lot of things, and they discuss
what they want. They will seek somewhere else.
Yes. and they discuss things within themselves. They talk. Children talk.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Talk a lot.
They talk a lot. Even in abroad, they talk a lot.
Yeah.
That's why you see anything that the parent does to their children, they go back to school. From school, they'll get a lot of information from the children, and they know a way of getting it. You know, they be friendly with them. The teachers will be friendly. They talk to them and all that. You get a lot of information. So the parents at home be getting, like, you know, calls, and they be wondering. They get it from the children.
Okay, you know, this topic, as you're saying, a whole lot is going on my head. But before we do that, let's go on our word of marvel and let's have our viewers have their say concerning this conversation we're having. Let's go on our word of marvel and we'll be right back to continue the conversation in the studio.
In a way, they are trying to protect their children. It's not everybody that will see it right. Because sometimes when you give children free hand, you will spoil them. So sometimes you need to be at least physically not abusive. You can touch them. That's why there's an adage that say when you strike a child with the right hand, you draw the child with the left hand. When you come close, it's just for correction. Then after that, it ends there. You play and talk.
Okay, so basically, I feel some of the parents have a bad upbringing. Some of them suffer same, and they're actually transferring it. And some of them are actually bitter either from their spouses. So they turn their aggression to their own children. That is either sexually or physically. They tend to relieve themselves by abusing the children, which in turn makes the children bitter people when they grow up.
Parents will get abusive to their children based on several factors. One of the factors could be that the children are disobedient. That could lead to abusive. And also, you should also find out that some parents too, based on their knowledge, how they were trained, how they were raised, they were really abusive. So you can actually not give what you don't have. So for the fact they were raised to be abusive, when their children tend to behave in one way or the other, they tend to abuse the children, whether physically or even with words. I think most times you tend to see parents abuse their children mostly with words. And if it is not really worked on, those children, when they grow up, they also do the same to their own children.
Well, there are many factors that contribute to that. Number one, if you ask me, the attitude of the children. That is number one. Number two, yeah, the attitude has to do with the character, and sometimes the influence of peer groups also causes some of these things. And with this, some parents tend to begin to misinterpret and begins to violently do such things to their kids.
Most of the time, because of the children's behavior, and then sometimes the parents also contribute to how the children behave too. So, in this kind of situation, most of the times the children are, maybe the peer groups influence them to the life they are in, and then the parents get to behave the way they behave to them.
I don't think there's anyone that is not for correction, because I want to believe. There's an adage also that say what an old man will see while sitting, a child, no matter how tall, what kind of palm tree you climb, you will not see it. So that's why I don't think it's about I don't think it's not correction. I always believe it's correction because they want the rights and the best parts for their child.
Okay, welcome back. We had to go on the streets to get that vox pop, but we didn't want to use the word narcissistic because a lot of them would not understand. So we had to put it in a word they would understand, and you listened and got the feedback that they had. Now, if you're just joining the conversation, we have been talking about narcissistic parents, how to go about it, how to handle them, how to deal with them, and our guest is still much in the studio. Before we went on that break, and I wanted to react to one or two things that they said there. Now, can a narcissistic parent seek for help, and how do they go about it? Because from what we listened to, you heard a lot of them saying, oh, some kids are disobedient and all of that. Nobody's above correction. I have literally seen parents that wash their kids from head to toe. Like, they make you feel like your existence is meaningless. In fact, I've heard a mother tell her daughter, like, you were a mistake, like you were one child I wouldn't have brought to life.
Yeah.
And for me, when I heard that, it got to me, and so I can imagine the child that was, and you know, when you're growing up, you feel like you don't remember such things, but as you're growing into adulthood, memories start flying back. That is why we can relate this topic to our upbringing. That, oh, so what we saw in this house, this is what it is. So can parents that are narcissistic in nature, now I'm talking of the younger generation here that are into parenthood, I'm not talking of those that don't even know what therapy is all about, that are in the villages, I'm talking of those that are now understanding. Can they seek for help, and how do they go about it?
Yes, they can seek for help, and this center around talking to them. That's the only therapy. Talking to the parents, talking to them about their narcissistic nature. You know, like I said, it's a mental health disorder. Most people don't know. So and the best way to go about it is to tell them who they are and what they've been doing, making them to realize it. You know, some people don't know that they prefer themselves and they take care of themselves. They don't see it as anything. Like we said, it's a disorder. So all we need to do is to talk to them. They have mental health doctors that handle this, and all they do is to talk to them. They go for counseling, they take sessions of counseling, they recommend books for them to read, to know what they are going through and who they are. Because if you don't know that is who you are, like we're talking about it now, when we're reading about it, we started seeing people around us, so they don't even know. So by the time you make them to understand, this is what you are doing to yourself, this is what you are doing to people around you, this is what you are doing to your husband. So it takes a lot of talk and counseling. You have to take sessions of going for counseling, you know, with the people that are specialists in mental health, treating narcissistic people.
Okay, from the viewers, the review from the general public, we have those who said some of them do it to correct, some of them actually do it to protect their children. Some even said it's like a transfer of aggression.
Yes, some of them are actually transfer aggression but turning to bullies. And they don't know that they are bullies.
That they are bullies.
Yes, there was a time, even in relationship, there was a time in my marriage I felt being bullied. I actually said it out. Said, I'm being bullied here. You understand? And so that's how most children are feeling. They can, you know, this parenting thing, when it comes to a narcissistic person, they do it the other way, the abnormal way. They break the rules of parenting and guidance by being controlling. By being, you know, they don't tolerate disobedience in any way.
But do you think that can also lead to that child getting married and still continuing the same process from the parents?
Oh yes.
Also, is it possible there is a flashback or a risk of how the parents also grow up, coming up to being in the life of that parent, and she or he may not even see it as maybe the way I was brought up? You understand?
Yes.
Because it's now many things we don't know are
Yes,
coming
it's now.
to be.
That's what I'm talking of, the
It's coming to
generation
be.
in front of
So,
us.
is it not as a flashback to that parent's upbringing from the first or second generation of that mother or that father? It is now bringing it now to the life of his or her own child. But they don't see it as anything. What do we do about that?
Okay,
And you know, many of them don't say sorry, please, excuse me.
Like,
They
I don't know.
They'll tell you, Ayelobami.
exactly. Like, so what I say to parents is that we need to change our mentality, especially the way things going now. Yes. And the best and practical example I give to people, even those that are not read, is that when you were growing up, what kind of TV were you watching? It was black and white, Hunchback, for crying out loud. Now what do we watch? Flat screen TV, and you can use remote. Now you touch screen on the same TV. You can do internet, you can do all sorts, but we're not doing that those days. It could be one TV in the community, everybody will gather. So things are changing. So the child, the way you are being brought up, you have to listen to these children now. And growing up or bring up children these days is give and take, because you learn from them and they learn from you. So parenting now is give and take, because the technology system or life has changed a lot of things. Another example I will give is that gone are the days that they will say if a lady does not know how to cook, you can't marry. These days they will marry confidently and they will go on YouTube, they will learn to cook egusi and everything, and they are good to go. And good to go. All they need to do is to subscribe to their data. They can do it like 3 times. If they want to cook egusi, how to cook egusi, follow it. By the 3rd session, you know how to do it. So, and things are actually changing. No matter the aggression you are transferring from where you are coming, if you actually want to eat the benefit of your children, because children these days, they are rebellious. They can stomach your narcissistic behavior with them growing up, and they are ready to pay you back. If they don't want to pay you back, they can flare up and throw it at your face. And that's why you see a lot of young children on the streets. They left home because they couldn't cope. They couldn't stand the pressure. They couldn't stand. Okay, let me give you a practical. I'm an evangelist and I minister on the streets of VI. I see a lot of boys and I speak to them and I ask them questions. They will tell you because of their father, their mother, stepmother and stepdad. These are, when you hear names, they are David, they are Ezekiel, they are Joshua, they are Samuel, names.
I know that are from Christian
homes. And so when you ask them, they will say to you that the way their father is talking to them before their stepmother, they will tell them, go back to their mother. When they get to their mother's place, their mother too is, narrating her own story, making them feel bad. So they can't get support from their father. Their father is treating them as an outcast, which is the narcissist nature that we're talking about. We just got a name for it.
We just got a name for it. That's true. We just got a name for it.
Just they will go to their mother. Their mother will be like, "What me That's the, because now she's focusing on herself. I want to be myself. I suffer from your father's hand. I want to be a better person for myself." So they're not giving attention to those children. And so at the end of the day, they will look at you and say, okay, they're not getting here, they're not getting here. You find them on the streets. And so that's why we have a lot of, homeless children on the streets. Is the aftermath of it. So the end game is either we talk to ourselves, when listen to those children when they are complaining. Some of them are rebellious, they will speak back at you. So when they speak back at you and you get worked up, well, it's better for you to listen to gain that child back. You better listen to the child. Forget about yourself. Remember the 9 months you have carried her or him. And as the father, things are changing. Thank God there's social media. They are posting it out. If you don't treat your son well or your wife well, at the end of the game, the children will take their mother for a mogo. He will be there. That's the aftermath of it. They are all seeing it now. I saw a social media of a father and a mother. They're just saying the woman was dressing the son for school, and talking to the son, say, if you don't behave well in school, I won't pay your school fees. The man jumped up and started talking to the child. Everyone knows someone's school fees. Okay, show her. She's not the one. No, you see all the day by him. He went and like, men are realizing that women are being manipulative over the children. These ones are not narcissistic now, but the man knows that if you start speaking to the child that I'm the one paying your school fees, so the child start tending that. Meanwhile, how can you be telling him that you're the one paying the school fees? It's me. I transferred it to her. Do you understand? So in all of that, things are changing. That's what they're just trying to say.
Okay, I loved one word you used, controlling. And it's very common with African parents. Now, our word of Bible said, the fact that your mother gave birth to you does not mean she should love you right. Now, I want to use controlling and manipulative to also add to narcissistic parenting. You discover that parents don't want to own up to their mistakes. They come up with this nature of, I carried you, I fed you. And by the time you start becoming emotional, the child now tends to feel like, I've offended. Meanwhile, in the right sense, the mothers or the parents are supposed to render the apology. I didn't grow up listening to my parents say, I'm sorry, Honorable never forward me, I'm sorry, you know. But now I'm realizing that, oh, there was something that he should have said, I'm sorry, but I ate blame for it. So now, would you say that narcissistic parents also have a way of being controlling and manipulative on their children to do their bid? Now, you talked about attention. What we see mostly, yes, now parents need attention. In fact, that's why you see a 16-year-old child literally taking care of the parents. Yeah. So would you say that this thing too, controlling and manipulative, like you said, we've just found a word for it, is common within the African setting kind of parenting?
Yes, I would say so. And like we say, what you just said now, thank God for the word narcissistic coming out,
for us to put everything together.
So now we're not speaking to the older generation, we're speaking to the younger generation, that we should do things a different way. And so, and we see, and thank God for the younger generation, the children are talking, they talk. And so when you see your daughter or your child talking back at you, saying, oh, you know, they can be crying and be saying, no, you know, there's this video that went viral, sorry, may her soul rest in peace. There's this video that went viral of this boy that was saying, mommy, calm down.
Yeah,
a heavy word.
Mommy, calm down.
For that child to be saying, mommy, calm down, he will have seen a lot. We don't know what it was, but the video went viral, and at the end of the day, we lost that mom. At the end of the day, we don't know what happened. But as younger generation, when you see your child telling you, mommy, calm down, let's listen to them. They are trying to say something to you. It might not be that word, calm down. It might just be them frowning, you know, folding up, not saying anything. But the children bottle things.
Yeah,
they bottle up a lot of things. So as parents, we should look out to, you know, snap out of ourselves and say, you know what, let me listen to this child. And please, we want to encourage people to go and, parents especially, to go and read that word narcissistic. Go and read up that word, Google it and see. A lot of people will be seeing themselves in that word.
That is it.
And you'll be able to, you know, you see yourself, you see people around you in that word, then you'll be able to adjust. You'll be able to take sessions of therapy, take talk therapy, psychotherapy. Let's go out there and, you know, talk to people, let them counsel us on our attitudes and our behaviors. You know, your child is complaining, but you are focusing on that one bed that you have over the weekend. They are saying it's a parent visiting day. They want you to be there. And you know, children, there is a way they want their mother or their father to be with them on that day. But you are feeling, oh, you know, it's one of my friends' 50th. And so I'm going to be there. And that child is looking at you. Meanwhile, she's talking to you, or he is talking to you about what they said they should bring in school. You are saying, please, 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 please. You are planning the shoe you are going to wear. You are planning that is still
a way of being a narcissistic parent.
Ignoring.
Somebody actually canceled a wedding. She was going for a wedding. She now invited a friend of mine. And so she's been preparing for that wedding. She's like my assistant. She was supposed to hold up for me in a place where we function. And she said she wouldn't be able to go, come to school because she's going for this wedding. So, of course, I showed up and I did my bid. So I now later saw her and I said, you didn't go for the wedding again. She said, that the friend's daughter called from school, that is the last visiting day for parents. And imagine the preparation for the past 2 months that she has to cancel. She didn't go for the wedding that they bought her, and she went. I said, it's parenting, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It makes sacrifice.
It makes sacrifice. That imagine that she couldn't explain it because she's not married, she doesn't have a child. I said, I understand what she's saying. So because that girl said to her that it's their last day of parents visiting day.
Parent visiting day. Oh, thank you so very much for your wealth of knowledge. Thank you for experiencing God narcissism.
Like, you know.
To all those parents out there, my final word is please look out for them. Learn to say sorry. It may look like you are weak. No, it's not a sign of being weak. It's a sign of being a true parent that you are. It means that you can do anything just to get a smile from the face of your daughter or your son who who believes so much in you. And so that sorry, that please can you help me do this, thank you for doing this, whatever. It's not just about giving them gifts, it's all about you saying it. The word that you can say goes a long while, and they will remember it. My name is Sirimino Lorijoke. It's a Tuesday with a difference. So do something meaningful with it. Have a splendid day ahead. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. But before we let you go, your final word while we present our beautiful package to you. Yes. Your final word to our viewers.
Okay, the final word for the viewers is just please let us parents be able to say, I am sorry, I love you. Those compliments go a long way. They are accolades that the children are looking out for from us. You know, it doesn't make us take us away as their parents. They appreciate it. Love them. Don't be of yourself alone. Don't ignore those children. Listen to them, and don't be too controlling.
Okay, thank you very much from Galaxy Television. On behalf of us and here in Family and Values, we are presenting this to you. This is from VG Milk Industries.
Thank you so much.
You know, we want you to drink and keep being beautiful and keep giving faith. You know,
you have there Vigil coffee milk.
What do we have?
So energy
so anyone
so while you are driving back to the island,
you can have a sip. So thank you very much for being a part of Family and Values.
Thank you.
Yes, and to our esteemed viewers, thank you for being our guest this morning. You have heard it. Please go and read more about it. You will definitely see yourself acting one way or the other, and you start taking corrections. We need people to understand. Let's not be business as usual. My name still remains Joy Abu. Tomorrow we are discussing how to deal with a bipolar partner. That is another topic you would not want to miss. We are having that conversation tomorrow, and so we don't want you to miss. Please join us same time, same station. We are streaming across all our social media platforms. Myself and Olori will be here to have that conversation, and our guest with you. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Tuesday with a difference, like we always say. Enjoy your day. Bye.